On the modern internet, the consensus on Goku has shifted. He's often portrayed as a comically inept, battle-addicted brute who risks the safety of the entire multiverse just to experience the thrill of a good fight. This version of the character is a product of Dragon Ball Super. The series exaggerated his personality to the point of caricature, depicting him as a man so focused on training that he forgets his own granddaughter's name. Longtime fans see this as a departure from the source material. When you return to the original Japanese manga, that specific version of Goku disappears. It raises a question about his legacy. Is he actually a negligent father and a reckless brawler, or has his character been rewritten by the media that followed him? To find the answer, we have to look past the memes and examine how he actively worked to suppress his own biology. The biological baseline of a Saiyan is cold. They are a race of warriors engineered for planetary conquest, separated from their parents at birth to be raised as tools of the army. A head injury erased his violent mission, but it was his earthly training that replaced it. His designer used the aesthetic of Buddhist monks to signal that Goku's identity is rooted in discipline, not just power. We see the result of that conditioning during his first Super Saiyan transformation. He didn't reach that level because he wanted a better fight. He reached it because Frieza murdered his best friend. His character arc is defined by this tension, the struggle to channel a biological urge for violence into a disciplined, protective duty. Dragon Ball Super ignores this development. In one of its most criticized moments, the show depicts a veteran martial artist who has to have the basic concept of meditation explained to him. But the original Goku was built on strategic physical comedy. Akira Toriyama modeled his fighting style on the improvisational adaptability of legendary cinema fighters like Jackie Chan. When the tone shifted to high-stakes drama, he adopted the intense focus of Bruce Lee. He used a paralyzing glare and calculated movements to break an opponent's composure. This explains his fight with Majin Vegeta. It wasn't a reckless brawl. Goku held back his true power as a psychological tactic, giving Vegeta the emotional release he needed to process his inner conflict. His apparent simplicity was never a lack of intelligence. It was an emotional humility that allowed him to dictate the flow of every major conflict. This timeline plots his presence on Earth in blue against his absences in red. The first gap occurred when he sacrificed his life to save his son. His later 7-year absence was a protective choice, concluding his presence acted as a beacon for intergalactic threats. When he was home, like the 3 years prior to the androids, he supported his family and respected Gohan's academic goals without forcing him into a life of combat. While he lacks standard parenting skills, his choices aren't born from neglect. He consistently prioritizes his family's survival over his own. This risk assessment matrix categorizes antagonists by those chasing Goku versus independent threats. While he attracted enemies like Raditz and the androids, threats like the Red Ribbon Army and Majin Buu were already in motion and would have arrived regardless of his presence. His greatest contribution is his ability to convert villains. He took the universe's most dangerous threats and turned them into Earth's defenders. By converting former conquerors like Piccolo and Vegeta into allies, Goku created a defense force that could stop the threats he didn't cause. Without him, Earth would have had no defense against the villains who were coming anyway. The version of Goku we see today is a result of character inflation. Writers took his lightheartedness and expanded it into stupidity, while reducing his focus on protection into a simple addiction to fighting. Modern audiences often misread him because they compare him to the Western superhero archetype, an unwavering, flawless champion of justice. Goku's motivations are more specific. He possesses a Saiyan's biological drive to test his limits, but you don't find a deadbeat dad or a reckless brawler. You find a disciplined martial artist who successfully overwrote a violent genetic destiny to become Earth's primary line of defense.